Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to the final episode of the 2017 fantasy draft with the Minnesota Vikings. Last episode, we finally climbed the mountain and we won the championship that had eluded us for the entirety of this series, if we're being totally honest. And we did it with Joe Burrow, not Josh Allen, who we sent to the Raiders to acquire Joe Burrow a couple of seasons ago. Josh Allen just wasn't going to get it done for us. He did lead us to a Super Bowl appearance, but we obviously did not win it. Then we traded him that offseason, the next episode, or maybe even that episode at the very end. I can't remember exactly. We brought in Joe Burrow in that deal. He played okay in Season 1. He played worse in Season 2. And then this past episode in Season 3, we got to the championship and we won it. So this episode that you're watching right now was always going to be the last episode of the series, since we're kind of at past modern day at this point. We just had we started the last episode with the current 2024 draft class, and then we went through that season, and now we've loaded in the 2025 NFL draft class, and basically this is the end, because I don't want to go into auto-generated draft classes and get some like fake players in this. This isn't about the fake players. This isn't about all that. It's about rebuilding the team in 2017 with a fantasy draft and getting all the real-life players that have come in the league ever since 2017. So that's what it's all about, and now we're ending it with the 2025 draft class, which we will start with this episode, and then get into the final season, where hopefully we can defend our championship and go back-to-back, because it was a really big struggle to even get to this point where we won the championship. I have it hard to believe that it's going to be easy to defend that championship, especially with the way that we simulate sometimes. Who knows what's going to happen? But that's the joy of this episode. The final episode at the end, we will take a look at like the stats for some of our favorite players and all that kind of stuff, and see kind of the overarching thing of this entire 10 or so years that we've done this. So if you guys go to enjoy the final episode, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's go wrap up this 2017 rebuild in style. So here we are at the offseason, right where we left off, and as you see, we won 13 games. We went to the Super Bowl, played the Chiefs, beat the Chiefs by a little bit. It was a close game, 17-14. And you may notice we have negative $161 million in available money, and that is because last episode I went all in and spent all the money on guys to bring them back. I'm pretty sure, right? Did I do that, or was that another series that I'm thinking of? Let me go to the re-signed players. What is the money that we have? Okay, so the only guy that we have is Sauce Gardner. We're going to accept his option. So yeah, I must have went all in, re-signed everybody, forget about all the cap room for future seasons. We don't need that. That doesn't matter. We're not going any further than the end of this season and the end of the Super Bowl. So who needs future money when you've got right now money? So the team is as follows. This is what we will rock going into the offseason. Joe Burrow at quarterback, being an X factor. CJ Stroud, I guess he's just going to end up being the greatest backup of all time in this universe. And Brock Purdy's going to be the greatest third string of all time. Although I did try to trade Brock Purdy and nobody wanted him, so I guess that's their fault. Christian McCaffrey at running back, he was always going to be the heir apparent to Le'Veon Bell, and he's done a very good job of that. Wide receivers, we've done a very good job of drafting wide receivers. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got CeeDee Lamb. We drafted Stephon Diggs at the very beginning of the series. He was one of our original draft picks, and he's still around, so that's nice. He's one of the original guys from this team, along with McCaffrey. And I think the entire offensive line was drafted in episodes, not the original team. This is not the original offensive line, unless Joe Thuney was original. I can't remember exactly. But all the receivers were drafted afterwards. And then on defense, who did we have? Who did we have originally? Tyrann Mathieu is original. I think he might be the only one, because we went pretty young in this. Unless we got Myles Garrett. Yeah, because we started in 2017, so he would have been the draft. He would have been a rookie that year. So we must have drafted Myles Garrett. So he's original. But everybody else, I'm pretty sure, is we acquired throughout the series and no originality. Because remember, if you go back all the way to the very beginning, we drafted a very old team. So a lot of those guys are going to be gone or retired or traded away or whatever, or just bad. So we had to get younger, and I feel like I've done a very, very good job of doing that. And now all those young guys have now progressed into like the top guys in the league. So let's get past the staff week here. Get into the off season. Even though we're not going to have much to do, we don't have any money to sign free agents. We signed all of our guys back to extensions, so it's not like we need to do any re-signing. As you can see, there is nothing to do re-sign wise, so we can move straight to free agency and just move straight past free agency. Although I'll take a little peek at who's available in free agency, just to kind of wet the whistle, tickle the pickle. So you got Tyron Smith, Trey Turner, Teron Armstead, a lot of good offensive tackles. And then some special teams guys. There's some quality players in here, but nobody that needs to come to our squad, which is good because I don't have any money to get them even if I wanted them to. So I do need to take a look at what our draft capital looks like, because I don't remember kind of where we're sitting in terms of how many first round picks do we have. Do we have any first round picks? Do I have multiple first round picks? Like, what do I have? What am I working with here? So we'll get to the recap stage, take a look at all that, and then we will make our plan for what we're going to do. Now remember, this draft is the last draft, so these guys do not really matter in terms of who we get, because they're not going to make an impact. We have starters at every single position, and none of these guys, I wouldn't think, are going to be high enough overall to impact that, unless the only position that wouldn't change would be free safety, because Tyrann Mathieu's getting older, and he's kind of past his prime now, so the only position that a rookie would start would be free safety. I don't know even if there is a free safety at the top of this class. Luther Burden's a top 5 pick. He's going 4. I would like to get Will Johnson, but I don't really want to trade up. There's Travis Hunter. Where are we picking at? Do we have multiple first-round picks, or do we only have the one? Or do we have any? We do. We only have our one first-round pick, and it's to take Jordan Hancock at pick 32. I think I'm just going to stick and pick. There will come a time when I draft Will Johnson in one of these rebuilds or something like that. We'll get there, but I think we'll stick at 32. We'll take somebody, whoever's available. It's not that big of a deal, and then we'll get right into the regular season. So let's do private workouts. Do I even have a board? I don't have a board. I didn't think I did, but let's just go straight to free safeties. Is there going to be anybody could start over Tyrann Mathieu? There's a possibility. And then let's do Jordan Hancock, because, I mean, it has us projected to take him anyway, so I might as well know exactly what his true talent is in case I want to actually take him. And then let's get to... Oh, there actually is trade offers for Brock Purdy. Nobody wanted him before, but now we could bring Fred Warner in. Ooh. Let me look at the team again. Let me look at the team real quick. Do we need a guy like Fred Warner? Because trading a third quarterback on the team is not a big deal. Fred Warner's like an 89. That would, and he'd start at left outside linebacker, so we could have Hassan Reddick move over to the right, and then have Patrick Queen move back, or have Rashawn Gary move back down over Max Crosby. That's possible. That's possible. I would prefer getting a D tackle. I wish that they were offering me a D tackle. I'm not going to trade Isaiah Likely, so we can decline all those. But Brock Purdy trade offers. He's our third quarterback. Martin Emerson we don't want. Fred Warner, 89 overall, would help us out probably. That feels like a good trade. I mean, it's straight up Fred Warner for Brock Purdy. The Giants must need a quarterback. The Giants must need a quarterback because they are trading me straight up and they don't want anything else. And they're giving up a very good player, although he's probably on the last year of his deal. He's probably on the last year of his deal. Although I don't even know if I can do the trade because I have negative money. They have Cam Newton, who he wouldn't even start over Cam. I don't know why they want Purdy. He's their second best player. He's got 2 years on his contract. But he's probably entering the final year of his deal. Or no, that probably would, because I think the contracts have already rolled over. So I'm going to accept the trade, but I don't think it's going to go through because I have no money. So accept the trade offer. Yeah, okay. I didn't think it was going to go through. Or did it go through? No, it didn't go through. Okay. I didn't think it was going to because we didn't have enough cap room, but at least it's nice to know that Brock Purdy is wanted, at least by the Giants for some reason, even though they have Cam Newton who would start over him, you would think. Prospects, how did my guys turn out? So those 2 free safeties, we got up to 90%. Malachi Starks, I do know this guy. I've heard his name before. He's got elite, oh man, okay. Ooh, I like Malachi Starks. I need to check the mock draft one more time to see if he was projected to go. He looks a lot better than Rod Moore. And then how did Jordan Hancock look? Round 3 to 4. All right, so we're not going to be taking Jordan Hancock in the first round. I'm probably going to be taking Malachi Starks. I need to look at that mock draft to see, was he projected to go at some point in this draft? In the first round? Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks. He was projected to go 29 to the Broncos. So now we need to trade up to get Malachi Starks. It's a good thing I looked at that before I went into the draft. I would have been pretty upset. I think Denver has the pick. Denver was the team that had him, so pick to 29. It's not trading up that much, so it shouldn't be that hard to trade. There we go. See, it's already pretty close. I'll give them one of my 4th round picks, and I'll give that might even be enough. Yeah, so a 1st round pick and a 4th round pick gets us pick 29, so we can now take Malachi Starks. As long as he's there, obviously we know from past drafts that in different series that teams can trade up, or teams can draft guys and reach for guys that you didn't think they were going to based on the mock draft. I'm talking about you, New Orleans, and drafting Quentin Nelson. All right, so the draft I'm pretty sure is going basically how it expected. I'd love to see the Patriots draft Travis Hunter when he's available. I love Travis Hunter. I think he's a really good player. Abdul Carter headed to Miami. That's a good pickup. Kelvin Banks. Landon Jackson. All right, our pick is coming up pretty soon. 9 picks away. Are we getting closer? Colston Loveland goes. I see my logo, so we are getting closer. One more pick ahead of us. Jack Sawyer headed to Pittsburgh. And now we can take Malachi Starks. Quinn Ewers is still on the table, but we don't need a quarterback because we need a free safety in Malachi Starks, who's only normal development. Interesting, but he looks very good. We'll see what his actual overall is. He might already be good enough to start over Tyrann Mathieu, because I think Tyrann is dropped down significantly to like a 70, low 70 overall. So I think he might already be good enough to start over him. Maxwell Hairston has good catching but can't really cover, which is a weird one. Bear Alexander, I remember this guy's name. I've heard this guy's name as well. He's got 8 tackling, but his block shed and stuff is not great. There's Davison Igbinosun. I remember drafting him before, and he was a pretty good player for me. There's some good safeties in this class. Sonny Styles, 6'3", solid speed. I'm going to take Sonny Styles. Another normal development player, but he's a Buckeye. You know I can't pass up Buckeyes. Come on. Even though I did just pass up Denzel Burke and Davison Igbinosun. You know I had to draft those guys. And usually when I've done this draft class, Igbinosun and Denzel Burke do fall pretty deep for some reason. I think Burke has normal development. Igbinosun, I'm pretty sure, has star. I don't remember exactly. He very well could have normal. I can't remember exactly which one has which. But I think I'm going to take Denzel Burke. Normal development, that's what I said. But Denzel Burke, so I've drafted what? 2 Buckeyes now, and one, what's Malachi Starks play? Texas? I feel like Texas is his team. I don't know. I don't remember. Igbinosun's still here if I wanted to take him. Let's go with maybe Keelan Lawson from Virginia Tech. Elite speed. A zone coverage, A pursuit. I like that. 88 speed. It's fine. I mean, these guys aren't going to ever play for us, so it's not that big of a deal anyway. And that's probably going to be the last pick that I even make. The big question is, what is Malachi Starks overall going to be? Because this will determine if he's going to start right away over Tyrann Mathieu or not. I would assume that he's going to start, but we'll see. He's a 75, so I think that is higher than Tyrann Mathieu. He's from Georgia, not Texas. Sonny Styles, Denzel Burke, Keelan Lawson. They took Dalen Everett, another corner from Georgia. They took Lathan Ransom. I like that. Buckeye. They know me. And then Daryl Porter Jr. All right. So best player in the class was Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU, then Walter Nolan, Quinshon Judkins, Luther Burden, Le'Veon Moss. Another Le'Veon? Okay, I like that. All right, so that's the final draft of the series. And we will go generate the best lineup, see if Malachi Starks does, in fact, start over, which I think he is. I think last time I looked, Tyrann Mathieu was like a 71. Still had star development, but I think he was a 71. So let's go generate best lineup. That means Amon-Ra starts over Stephon. I'm fine with that. And yeah, Malachi does initially start over Tyrann Mathieu. I'm fine with that. We obviously didn't make the trade for Patrick Queen, so Crosby will stay at left end. Hopefully these two D tackles will be able to hold it down in the middle, and then Rashawn Gary outside like that. We've got great linebacker depth. Trenton Simpson is a good player too, and Dre Greenlaw's pretty good. I mean, we got great corners, we got great safeties, great linebackers, great defensive linemen, great offense. We're a championship team. We just got to go out there and actually do it. So I'm going to go wrap up the preseason really quickly, and then I'll catch you guys back at week number 1. Okay, so we wrapped up the preseason, ready to go for the final season of the series here in Minnesota. And we are taking on the Chicago Bears in week number 1, but just a little refresher what the team looks like. Joseph Burrow starting at quarterback. McCaffrey, Amon-Ra, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin. Offensive line looks great. Brock Bowers is fantastic. Defensively, we still look pretty good. Obviously, there are some slight holes you could consider. And I only say the holes because they don't have development traits. But also, you could think that Max Crosby could be upgraded unless he has a really, really good year this year. This year. And then Rashawn Gary and Patrick Queen could also be upgraded at some point. You never know. But we're not going to worry about that because this is the end. The end-all, be-all. Let's start simulating, big boy. Let's get this done. Are we going to go undefeated? The undefeated dream stays alive. We beat the Chicago Bears. Bears. And now we take on the Detroit Lions, or as I like to call them, Detroit. Can we beat them and go to 2-0? Undefeated season. Perfect. No, it's over already. The undefeated season is over already. That is perfectly fine. That is the most Madden thing I have ever seen. But we do get some good stuff coming out of it. Breakout defensive lineman. It's Byron Murphy. Didn't he have one last year and didn't get it? I feel like he had one last episode and did not achieve it, even though it's going from normal to star, which is the easiest thing to do. Let's see if he can get it done against Pittsburgh. We're at home, in front of the home fans. Come on, Byron, I need you to do it. We do beat the Steelers, so does he get it done? He did. Byron Murphy, star development. Thank you very much, big dog. I needed that. That makes me feel a little bit better about that draft pick that we made with Byron Murphy. I thought he was going to go up naturally last episode, but he just didn't do it. Now we take on the Detroit Lions, who beat us in week 2. Can we get our revenge? No, we can't. They sweep us in the season series. They are the best team of all time, apparently. When am I going to jump in? What game do I want to play? I probably don't want to jump into too many. I just want to let the simulation take over, but I might jump in against Green Bay. That could be pretty fun. They're a big rival. Go to Lambeau Field, play the Green Bay Packers. I might do that. Amon-Ra gets an upgrade point. Penei Sewell gets an upgrade point. The boys are looking good. We're sitting at, what, 3-2? Yeah, 3-2 on the year. Lions are 4-1. You know what? Let's jump in and play the Green Bay Packers. Maybe some good things can happen. Maybe we can get the W. Maybe Joe Burrow can throw 19 touchdowns. All right, we're here in Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. They're already down. We're already down 7-0, but we're in the red zone trying to fight it. And you know I had to rock the classic Randy Moss uniforms, the Dante Culpepper uniforms for the final season. We had to drop it at least once. I think I wore them earlier in the series, but I don't remember when the last time was that I did, so might as well rock them here. And I might, I was going to say I might throw a corner route on Amon-Ra, but I don't think I can. And I didn't even send the right guy on a streak route. I sent Likely on it. But he's going to work out anyway. Isaiah Likely holds on for a touchdown. That was not the initial read, but I made it work because I'm just that dang good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big-time touchdown. We tie the game in the rain here in Lambeau. Early season test against the Packers. They take a 14-10 lead, but we need to step up. Big dog, let's go. 2nd and 3. Hand this ball up to Christian McCaffrey. Looks like we turned the ball over. I don't know if that was a Burrow interception. Probably. Oh, great block. Great blocking, and Christian McCaffrey gets to the 6-yard line. Who threw that block? Number 19, Brock Bowers threw the great block. Good job, big dog. Hand it off to Christian again, and Christian McCaffrey, been here since the beginning, got a championship, and trying to put this ball in the end zone. I think I'm going to hand this off to Stephon Diggs here. Snap, stay in the pocket, fire it in. Stephon Diggs, also been here since the beginning. He grabs himself a touchdown. He's obviously going to have the most touchdowns in this series because he's been here since the very beginning. We lead 17-14. Keep driving, 4th and inches. Kick that field goal. We missed. Okay. Or we didn't attempt it. I don't know what happened there, but it's 21-17 from the 3-yard line. Who's got this? Do we go kind of unconventional and go to Brock Bowers? No, we hit it. Fired in there, right there. Stephon Diggs again. I didn't even realize that was Stephon, but he's got another touchdown. All right, Stephon, I see you out here. Flex on the haters, 24-21. And they tied up with a field goal. Come on, Green Bay, don't do anything here. Defense stops them. It's 3rd and 4 from the 25-yard line. Burrow's got his X Factor activated, which means he's throwing dots. I'm going to run play action. It's probably not the smartest idea, but I'm going to try it, see what happens. Fire it in. He's throwing dots for sure. It's Isaiah Likely, touchdown. What a bomb from Joseph Burrow. Joe Shiesty with the unbelievable accuracy. That was a great throw. I think that was helped because he had the throwing dots X Factor activated, but that was a beautiful picture-perfect throw, and we run the clock out for the victory over the Green Bay Packers. All right, I didn't throw a pick. I did not. Oh, Michael Penix, by the way, was the quarterback of Green Bay there. I didn't throw a pick in a game that I jumped into. I don't know when the last time that was. You know those memes where it's like so many days until since an accident happened, and they like erase it and go back to 0? I think we can add another number. There was so many days till an accident. I didn't throw a pick. Let's go. Let's go, big dog. And now we play the New York Giants. We'll simulate a few more games into the season here, see if we can build some momentum off that one and keep pace with the Lions, because the Lions seem to be the greatest team of all time, apparently. That's what it's looking like. Mock draft number 2's out, and we lose to the New York Football Giants. That is not ideal, considering we were probably the better team than the New York Giants. We also lose to the Eagles as well. What's happening? Why are we losing ball games here, boys? We're the defending Super Bowl champs. What are we doing? Breakout DB. It's from Malachi Starks. This is big because he's also going up from normal to star. So if he gets star development on this game against the Falcons, that would be huge. Absolutely huge. 6-2 Falcons. Not going to be an easy test. But all he's got to do is get, what, like one pass deflection or something? We do win against the Falcons. And he's frustrated. Oh, he didn't get it. It's so easy in simulation to go from normal to star. Come on. I guess I already used my quota because Byron Murphy got up from normal to star in this same season. So I guess you can only do it once per season. Whatever. We don't get it done. Week number 10 against Washington. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Loss. Frustration is building. This is acting like... I did load it in the 2026 draft class, by the way, just for fun. This is starting to feel like a couple of seasons ago. And not last year when we were good. Let's get after the bye week. We need some wins here, boys. We need to rack up some wins. Taking on Denver and Mile High. I'm probably going to jump in and try to help this team get back on track here. Just for if you're curious, who would have needed a new contract if we were to go another season. Penei Sewell, J.C. Jackson, Myles Garrett, Tariq Woolen, Brock Purdy, Hassan Reddick, Tevin Jenkins, Isaiah Likely, Bernard Raymond, Braden Smith, Jamel Dean, Justin Sr., Matt Ariza, Peter Skoronski, C.J. Stroud, all he except the option, and then Joe Tippmann. My game plan would be to restructure contracts to bring back Penei Sewell, J.C. Jackson, Myles Garrett, Tariq Woolen, trade Brock Purdy, trade Hassan Reddick, probably have to trade Tevin Jenkins just as a cap casualty. That's probably what I would do. But luckily for me, I don't have to worry about that because we're not going. So I'm going to jump into this game against the Broncos, and we're going to see if we can get back on track. Luckily, the Lions have had a massive fall from grace. They're now 6-4. So this division is very still up for grabs. Very still a possibility for us to win it. We just got to go out there and actually get the job done, win those games. Let's go beat Denver. Here we are against the Denver Broncos. Trying to get back on the win streak. Keep this momentum rolling that we need to build. We need to start building the momentum and then actually get it to keep rolling. So we're going to hand this ball off to McCaffrey. He's going to try to break around. He had some space. I actually got through that hole a lot easier than I thought I was. And now we're rocking the 2010. These are the Adrian Peterson uniforms. You could even say the Brett Favre uniforms. Whatever you want. The Cordell Patterson early stages of his career. Sidney Rice. Who else are some former Vikings from this era? Kyle Rudolph wore these uniforms at a point. Who else? Everson Griffin wore these uniforms. I'm trying to picture some other guys. Percy Harvin wore this uniform. Anybody else? Anybody big name that I'm forgetting? Probably. I always forget a bunch of people. I just gotta throw this away. 2nd and 6 moves to 3rd and 6. And now, guys like Joe Burrow have worn this uniform. So look at that. Look at that. It comes full circle, doesn't it? Here in Mile High, I'm going to try to join the Mile High Club here and throw a touchdown to a big-name guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was Stephon Diggs anyway. And I threw the pick, so I guess we can pull up that meme of days since an accident and erase all that and back to 0. I've thrown a pick in a game that I jumped into. Are we really that shocked, though? I always throw picks. It's my nature. I get mad at the game, and I throw interceptions. Those are basically two things that are guaranteed every time you load up a World of Juice video, no matter what it is. I could be playing a game that isn't a football game and still throw interceptions because that's how bad I am at video games. Somehow I'd be playing like Minecraft and still throw an interception. 31-0. We're blowing out the Denver Broncos, though, so it looks like the interception is not that big of a deal, which makes me happy. Because it makes me happy. Hand off to Christian McCaffrey. Great blocking down the field by the receivers. Oh, Stephon! I needed him to just get in his way for a second, and I would have had a touchdown. If he would have just slowed that guy down for a half a second, even like a quarter of a second, I would have had a touchdown. All I needed was him to get stopped just a little bit, and I would have had myself around that corner and to the end zone. But we do get the win anyway. Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Denver Broncos, if you're curious. And it is time to keep simulating. We get a much needed win. Does that put us ahead of the Lions? We'll see what they do in this week. It would put us ahead if they were to lose. No, actually, they probably still stay ahead because they had the 2-game lead over us. But it doesn't matter because they won anyway. So it doesn't matter if they would have stayed ahead of us or not. They get the win, so they automatically stay ahead. We lose to the Chargers. What is going on with us? Why are we like mediocre right now? This is the most Madden simulation I've ever seen in my life. And we lose again. We're 6-7 with the team that I've built. This is how we're going to end? This is how we're going to end the series? By not even making the playoffs? Wow, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. I'm not even like hyping that up. That's crazy. The fact that we are not going to make the playoffs as the defending Super Bowl champions. The Super Bowl hangover is real. We beat the Raiders, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. Joe Burrow goes to an 84 overall. Man, we really were on some sort of Cinderella run last episode. That's crazy. We beat the Cardinals. Are we going to make the playoffs? Are we going to make the playoffs with this 3-game surge? No, we didn't even make the playoffs with that 3-game surge at the end. We missed the playoffs as the defending Super Bowl champions. That is really insane. Wow, okay. So no playoffs in the final episode. Not something I expected whatsoever. But I guess that leaves more time to take a look at the stats and recap the series. Man, that's crazy. That's honestly crazy. I cannot believe that happened. It's going to be Washington and New York in the Super Bowl. All right, big dog. Go off. Let's take a look at the stats first before we do anything else. Joe Burrow led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns, and we missed the playoffs. What is that? 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions with a 75% completion percentage, and you missed the playoffs? 891 and 10 touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey on the ground. Amon-Ra had 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. Brock Bowers had 1,000 yards and 3 touchdowns. Diggs almost had 1,000 yards with 11 touchdowns. Defensively, Patrick Queen led the team with 129 tackles, then Reddick with 101. Starks is a rookie at 92. I'm sure he would eventually just naturally grow up to star because of that season. That's a pretty good season. 83 from Gary, 80 from Hufanga. 21 tackles for loss for Hassan Reddick led the team. Myles Garrett had 20. 15 for Gary and 15 for Byron Murphy, the newly minted star development player. And then Garrett led the team with sacks with 6. 5.5 for Reddick, 4 for Murphy, 3.5 for Gary, 2 for Queen, 1 for a couple other guys. 4 interceptions for J.C. Jackson, 2 for Gardner, 1 for Uche and Starks. Uche. So those are your numbers for the season. Joe Burrow led the team in yards and touchdowns, and still we did not make the playoffs. And Amon-Ra led the team in receiving yards, and we didn't make, or led the league in receiving yards and didn't make the Super Bowl or the playoffs even. Oh, it's a crazy thing, Madden Simulation. And the Jets beat Washington to win the Super Bowl. Congratulations to them. We will take a look one last time at the recap. If my controller would turn back on. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let's recap what happened through these, 11 years? 12 years? No, not even that. It'd be 9 years. Because we didn't make it 2027. So that'd be 10 years. So it'd be 8 years, 9 years, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's go back to the beginning. We started with this one right here. Saints won the first ever Super Bowl of the series, winning 35-31 over the Chargers. We didn't have any rookies of the year or anything like that because we were pretty bad at the beginning. Then the Saints go back-to-back in the appearances at least, but they lose to the Jets, who got a championship with Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback. Oh, okay. We didn't get any awards that year either. Year 3, we made the postseason with, or we made the Super Bowl with Josh Allen. This is the one we unfortunately lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. Jacoby Brissett beat us, which is just wild to say. We did win Coach of the Year, and we won Offensive Player of the Year with Le'Veon Bell. Then year 4, we had the Saints in the Super Bowl for the 3rd time, and they lost it again, this time to the Chargers with Matt Stafford. We don't win any awards. Then year 5, the Chiefs get over the Panthers with Jared Goff as the quarterback. We don't win any awards again. Year 6, Cowboys defeat the Patriots with Matt Stafford as the quarterback. And we don't get any awards again. Year 7, the Falcons beat the Steelers. Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, goes Super Bowl MVP. And we don't win any awards. Year 8, Joe Burrow gets the Super Bowl. That's the one that we won last episode. And no awards. And then this year, no awards, Jets over Washington. Oh, actually, we do. Joe Burrow gets MVP and Amon-Ra gets Offensive Player of the Year. I apologize. I just assumed there was not going to be any awards, but we do get 2 awards. MVP for Burrow and Offensive Player of the Year. So if we take a look at the career stats for Joe Burrow, obviously a couple of these years he was in Vegas, but most of this is from his time here in Minnesota. 1,800 yards, or 18,000 yards, 137 touchdowns, and 46 interceptions with a career 70% completion percentage. That is pretty darn good. Christian McCaffrey, all of these numbers are here in Minnesota, and all of these numbers are here in this series. 7,000 yards, 79 touchdowns, 7 fumbles over a, 9-year career. I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that's pretty darn good. He averaged 3.8 per carry in his career, which is just insane to even think that that would be that low, but whatever. 7,000 career rushing yards is pretty solid. Receiving, all of these numbers are in this career because all these guys, actually, Stephon is the only one that has bumped stats a little bit because of he would have been older than the series started, but all the other guys below would have been the numbers from just this series alone. So 8,000 for Stephon Diggs, 51 touchdowns. Amon-Ra had 6,000, almost 7,000, and he had 66 touchdowns. McLaurin 5,300 with 34 touchdowns. McCaffrey through the air had 4,200 yards and 18 touchdowns. Love to see that. Brock Bowers in his 2 years had 2,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. And CeeDee Lamb got over 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. Nice to see. Who led the most? Who had the most blocks or sacks allowed? Senior Penei Sewell 22, Joe Tooney 16. That's okay. Defensively, Patrick Queen in just 6 seasons, 763 tackles is pretty crazy. Hassan Reddick 697, Myles Garrett 638, Tyrann Mathieu 549, Foyesade 525, J.C. Jackson 518, 450 for Rashawn Gary. Some good numbers from the boys. Some pretty good numbers. Tackle for loss leader is, no surprise, Myles Garrett with 137, 109 for Reddick, 87 for Gary, and then it drops off significantly after that. Sack leader is 62 with Hassan Reddick, 51 and a half for Myles Garrett, 26 and a half for Rashawn Gary, and then drops off again significantly for the rest of the boys. Interception leader, no surprise, it is J.C. Jackson. We drafted him in the beginning, and he is a stud. You always want to draft, if you're going to do some of these mods, and you're going to have this draft class that J.C. Jackson's in, you got to get him. He's valued very low. You can get him in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th round sometimes, and he will produce. He's very good. Then we had Sauce Gardner with 15. You know what? J.C. Jackson had 19 through like 8 or 9 years. Sauce Gardner had 15 in like 4 or 5 years. That's really impressive from Sauce. Very, very impressive. Kicking-wise, Evan McPherson did pretty well. Punting-wise, Ariza did pretty well also. And then kick returns. No kick return touchdowns throughout the career for Mitchell or for anybody like that. And no punt return touchdowns either. So those are your numbers for everybody. I will take a look at the Raiders because that is where Josh Allen plays now. Little Joshy Poo. So his career passing numbers, he had 3,100. Wait. Did I read Joe Burrow's numbers wrong? No, I read 1,800 yards. I thought for a second that I was reading his completion numbers. I read 1,800 yards. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't reading that wrong. 3,100 yards for Josh Allen, 107 interceptions, 211 touchdowns. Now, obviously, these are a few seasons in Vegas, or I guess they're in Los Angeles, or they're in Oakland still. See, we traded him in 2027, which would have been 2020? 2021? I don't remember. I don't know. But he's been in the Raiders for 4 years. When he was with us, he had 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. He had 35, 27, and 7. This is the year that we won the Super Bowl, which was 3,800, 25, and 6. Then the final year that he was with us, he really bumped it up, 43, 23, and 15. But I think we missed the playoffs, and I was too... No, we didn't miss the playoffs. We made it and lost. Or maybe, I can't remember. That's been too long ago. But something made me trade him to get Joe Burrow. And then his first year in the Raiders organization, he had 4,200 yards, 31 and 22, which is still a lot of interceptions. Then 29 and 15 with 3,900 yards, 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And then this past season, 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Now, I do want to find... I don't remember where I sent Le'Veon Bell. He could be anywhere at this point. Where would Le'Veon Bell be playing nowadays? Dak Prescott's the career rusher in Carolina. That's kind of crazy. Cam Akers. Because Josh Allen and Le'Veon Bell are really the only ones that are like guys that we care about that we had to let go. So, where is Le'Veon Bell? I don't think he would have retired. He might have retired. But I don't see him really anywhere. Le'Veon Bell. Did you retire, big dog? Or have I just not gotten you yet? I don't see him anywhere. Le'Veon Bell, where are you? You might have retired. Now we're in the NFC West. Titans, no. Texans, no. No for the Steelers. Seahawks, he might have retired. There's a very good possibility Le'Veon Bell is no longer an NFL player. Because I don't see him here at all. And we're back to the Rams where we started. That's crazy. Le'Veon Bell, no longer an NFL player. Or maybe he's in free agency. I don't know. But he's not there anymore. That's kind of crazy. Le'Veon Bell does not exist in the NFL anymore. He could be retired. But that is going to be the wrap-up of the series, ladies and gentlemen. It was a fun one. I had a good time. Any development upgrades for anybody? Nobody on the offense. Everybody stays the same. Defensively, we know that Byron Murphy went up to star during the season. Malachi does officially go up to star through natural just progression, which is really awesome. Makes that draft pick look a little bit better now. But this team's pretty good. I would probably want to draft a defensive line or a linebacker and then switch Gary and Crosby again because Crosby just is not developed. I don't know what it is. I even bumped him up. I made Crosby better. and he still hasn't taken that next step. I don't know what it is about Max Crosby. He just does not develop like he did in real life. It's weird. Everybody else pretty much develops. I mean, Myles Garrett's good. He's not as good as he is in real life, but he's a good player. And he can, we know that he can develop because we've had him in plenty of series before where he's been the best player of all time. Hassan Reddick's really good. Hufunga's good. J.C. Jackson's good. Sauce Gardner's great. I mean, Joe Burrow needs a little bit of work still. He's like, what, like an 84 or something like that? So he needs a little bit of work. But, I mean, Amon-Ra's a 99 or a 97, I mean. So I don't know why Max Crosby just is not turning into anybody. He's not the Max Crosby that we know and love from real life, that's for sure. But this has been a really fun series. I had a really good time with it. Starting, obviously, with a fantasy draft changes everything because you have to kind of make a decision. Are you going to go super young? Which means you have to draft a bunch of guys at the beginning because the young guys go early in drafts. Or are you going to go for big contracts that you can trade away? Or are you going to go for just like straight up high overall guys that are going to win you a championship or get you in the playoffs in season one? Like, what's your strategy going to be? Those always an interesting part about a fantasy draft style rebuild. And then when you go on, like, who are you going to draft? Are you going to draft a quarter? Are you going to need to draft a quarterback? Are you going to need to draft wide receivers? Like, it's just a bunch of fun things to do when you start with a fantasy draft that you don't really get when you start with just a base roster and everybody's on their correct team. But I had a really good time. We made 2 Super Bowl appearances with 2 different quarterbacks, only won 1 championship, but hey, I won a championship. I was successful in it, and this rebuild can be counted as a W. To my knowledge, I have not failed a rebuilding challenge in Madden 24. I have won at least 1 Super Bowl in every single rebuilding series / challenge / video that I've done on Madden 24. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And I think that extends back to Madden 23 as well. I don't think I failed one in that either. I'd have to obviously go back and look, but I don't think I failed one in any of those 10-year rebuild videos that I did or any of just the normal rebuild videos or the challenge videos. I'm pretty sure I've won a Super Bowl with everybody. I think. And I'm also the drafting god, so that helps. Huh, that's pretty cool. Obviously, you guys could fact check me. I hope you don't. But that's going to do it for the series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try to... I've got some good ideas coming into the wings here in the future. The very near future with some normal, like, one-off rebuild videos. But as far as series to replace this, I don't know if there's going to be another one, like another big one, because we've already got the Desperados that's going to keep going. We've already got the Green Bay Packers, which will keep going until we get closer to modern day, which we are honestly getting pretty close to modern day in the Green Bay Packers series. We've got the what else we got? We got the Oregon Ducks. That's going to go until the game comes out. The college football game comes out in July, so that's going to be another staple of the series of the channel. We've also got just the normal rebuilds that are coming out every once in a while. What else do we have? There's another series that I'm forgetting, right? Or is that it? I think that might be it, because this one's now wrapping up. So, yeah, there's still some big-time series on the channel right now, but I think I'm not going to be doing any more this type of series or, like, big series. If I do it, it would be like a 10-year rebuild where we do 1 episode per year, and like I did back in Madden 23. That would probably be what replaces this. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I think of something else. I don't know. Because I do have to get creative at this point because Madden is basically dead. The cycle's dead now because we're in deep off season where we're coming up on the draft, which will kind of revitalize things for about a week or 2, maybe a month. And then once we get into the dog days of summer, man, that's where you really struggle to make Madden content. And that's why those 10-year videos came out and all that kind of stuff. But luckily this year in the summer, we're going to have the college football game, which can kind of take Madden's place. So when the new college football game comes out, I'm probably going to ease back on the Madden content, and we're going to go strictly into college football content until obviously the new Madden game comes out in August. So we really won't have that much of a gap between solely college football content on the channel, and then the time between that, and then the time between when Madden comes out in August, because July, then August is the next month. So it's going to be like 1 full month of college football, and then we go right into like both Madden and college football on the channel at the same time. And I'm sure probably, depending on how long the Desperados will end when we get to Madden 24, or Madden 25, whatever they call it, the next game. So the Desperados, however many seasons, I'm hoping we can get to at least season 10 and further beyond that. And I think we should, because we're already getting close to the end of season 7. Like, the next video that comes out is going to be the final weeks of season 7. So we're already getting pretty deep into that. And then we'll come out with the off season, or the playoffs, the off season, and then the draft. So there's 3 more episodes in there. And then that series will continue. The Packers will wrap up pretty soon, because we'll get close to the end of the modern day. And once we get to the modern day, then we'll wrap it up. And then the Oregon, like I said, the Oregon Ducks series will go until July 19th, I think, is when the release date of the new college football game comes out. So however far we get, if we get 1 season deep, it's what it is. If we get a season and a half deep, it is what it is. Once that college football game comes out, then we'll end the series for Oregon. I'm not going to extend it on, because what's the point? We have an actual college. The only reason I'm doing this series is because we don't have a college football game right now, a modern college football game. So that's when that series ends. So there is some big change coming to the channel, but I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this series in general, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watch. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.